everybody. Welcome to Smoke Break. Bob wanted to share with us a list, a very weird fucking list.
Oh yeah, the top 8 most awkward sexual moments in comic book history. Yes. So, comic books have been known to do some crazy things to keep the readers interested. After all, there's only so many times you can see Superman and Lois Lane make out without getting bored. So sometimes writers will push the envelope a bit, the envelope of sex. Sometimes it works.
Sex envelope, if you will.
It just made me think of like Superman, like just fucking with his eyebrows up and down while pushing the envelope. This big fucking red letters that says sex. Yeah.
All right. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it just makes us feel like putting the comic book face down, leaving the room, and taking a shower. Like the time, number 8, Superman and Batman cry over alien tentacle sex.
Same.
I just want you to take that. This is honestly, right off the bat, this is my favorite one. Like, cause it's so stupid. Look at this picture.
Superman cry over tentacle sex.
And by the way, to be specific, you can find this cracked article on cracked.com. Yes, it's not hard. Just find awkward sex moments in comics. You'll find it. There's probably a link. Anyway.
All the lists are on Cracked. Everyone.
All the good ones.
Yep.
But anyway, as you probably already know, if you've ever taken an introduction to comics class, nothing good can come out of combining the phrase tentacle sex with Batman. It's like the first lesson in comics. Well, someone skipped the class and made Batman and Superman tentacle sex comic, and be prepared to be shocked, it had nothing to do with Japanese manga. This happened in the official DC universe. So our terribly awkward adventure begins with when Superman realizes that he and Batman are both pretty stressed from all the saving the world nonsense they do every day. So he invites Batman over for a goddamn sleepover at the Fortress of Solitude.
In your bat pajamas, buddy.
To discuss their feelings.
We can make some bat s'mores.
The very idea.
Talk about the top 5 villains that are hot or not.
Back in the Silver Age.
Play with the Ouija board.
It's like, what are bat s'mores, Batman? They're just s'mores with bat-shaped Hershey's.
So.
What did you think, Clark? Honestly.
Had especially made me being a quadrillionaire and all.
Nothing better to do with my time.
So
I am here having a goddamn sleepover with you after all.
In your Fortress of Solitude.
Flew to Antarctica to sit around in my pajamas with another middle-aged man. You just really think about the absurdity of that. Like,
also, like,
I love it.
Also, do we have to set up a counter for every time a cracked article writer reaches for the low-hanging fruit? Like, oh, there's tentacles, and they're not talking about a manga. Wink, wink.
Yeah, they're.
Hey, don't penalize them for grabbing the low hanging fruit, because manga does kind of have the monopoly on tentacles.
Yes, but everyone knows that.
And there's nothing wrong with taking a jib at it. Hey,
not really, because that's the 5 billionth jib anyone is taking at it.
Well, you know what? If they didn't want 1,000 jibs taken at them, they shouldn't be like the only purveyors of tentacle sex. It'd be different if like other people got on the bandwagon and like tentacle sex became like a genre. They're like, hey, the Japanese pioneered it, but other people got involved. But no, you literally don't really see weird, nasty tentacle sex in any other media except Japanese manga.
So,
well, maybe once in a while you get a little bit of tentaporn in sci-fi.
Maybe it's a
like,
channel.
Sometimes in those old Western movies, black and white, what your grandma watches. You see some interesting
They'll just slip some in there.
Yeah. Going further with this, though, so they have a goddamn sleepover at the Fortress of Solitude to discuss their feelings and have pillow fights and so forth. Batman accepts because dealing with stressful situations in an emotionally healthy way has always been the trademark of Batman. And we weren't kidding about the whole discuss their feelings bit. And since we each sense got Leon, turn the screen saver
Don't
on!
worry about it. I got a handle.
Oh, you do. You could touch it. There you go. You did it. You got a handle, but you almost didn't.
How many of these have I done, Bob?
I don't know, but you always forget.
How many of these have I done?
7.
Enough for you to forget.
12.
I never forget.
Okay.
4.
So anyway, so Superman's all like, and since we each sense trouble in the other, why don't we share the burdens? You start, Batman. And just so then their emotionally naked staring contest is interrupted by a meteor full of aliens, which is a godsend to anyone who didn't want to see Batman and Superman kiss. But total blue balls to the small fringe group that did.
Small.
Probably not as small as you think.
I was about to say, I think that group is smaller than you think and way bigger than you'd hope.
Yeah. The aliens crash at the fortress, we learn, because it was currently the most emotionally honest place.
Sorry. Watching Bugs Bunny do the whip.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The aliens crashed at the fortress, we learned, because it was currently the most emotionally honest place in the whole planet.
Yeah.
Because it is the Fortress of Solitude.
With Batman and Superman.
Yes. In short, Batman and Superman were being so lame that the aliens from the other planet just came to stop them. And we thanked them for it. And I just want you to see these. Look at these aliens. Look at them. Look at these weird ass. They're just tentacles.
Wait, they're just like meat dildos or something.
They look like they're made of Spam.
They look like meat fleshlights.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, like they just look like they're a bunch of spams shaped together.
So the tentacle aliens feed off of Batman and Superman's emotion like some kind of supercharged ecstasy and immediately start growing and mating with one another in what will quickly become the epicenter of your darkest nightmares. Just look at this panel. Look at how beautiful.
Oh wait, really? Yeah, they really are having tentacle sex.
But it doesn't. It's not
Like they kind of
tentacle on human sex.
yeah they disregard the whole like how are we gonna make the anatomies of this tentacles, and they were like let's just make it
put
look
a
as
hole in
much as human sex as possible.
There's just a hole in one tentacle that another tentacle penetrates. It literally looks like how these tentacles are reproducing, like a biology class. It's kind of.
Yeah,
The title is very misleading.
Yes. So our heroes
No,
just
it's
kind of stand around, watching the copious amounts of tentacle sex happen and avoiding eye contact with each other for a few minutes, because watching emotion-snorting tentacles fuck each other is right at the top of the list of things to ruin sleepovers.
Let's not have a sleepover.
And then things get weird. The tentacles, which are already pretty dick-like to begin with, grow their own hairy dicks. It's kind of like someone challenged God's apprentice to invent some new animal using only dicks and fear. Look at this fucking awful thing.
Yeah.
Wow, that does look incredibly terrible.
That looks awful. And Manny has like glowing aura around him. That's bad.
The sexual energy just crackling off this tentacle.
Yeah.
Why does that tentacle have a penis surrounded by a spiky cloaca? It's like it had a vagina that ejected a cloaca that ejected a penis.
Yes. So the aliens need to feed off emotions to live, but rather than drain all of the emotions on Earth, they decide to let themselves die, making this the easiest yet most psychologically scarring victory in history. They just kill themselves.
After our orgy, we cannot eat all of your emotions. It would be too cruel.
We shall leave. Now you two have to live with us now. Batman and Superman. So long, fuck boys.
Live with what you saw.
Instead of just saying thanks, we appreciate that, Batman and Superman beg the aliens to live, and then in a moment we'd love to erase from history, they cry and hug each other as the tentacle aliens die, along with a little bit of our souls.
Wow.
Oh, and it only gets, that was that. It only gets worse from here. Well, debatably. It's number 7's Iron Man's abusive boyfriend.
It's not as bad as the tentacle.
I think the tentacle thing is probably the worst in this whole list.
Yeah, they kind of
They kind of just
they stepped in a bit
unleashed the
too
beast.
strong.
Or,
Yeah. So this one's pretty bad too. Tony Stark, billionaire playboy and part-time advanced technology hoarder, has been in a lot of relationships throughout the course of comic books. dating or nailing every female character who crosses his path. Sure, that's cool and interesting and appropriate for his character and everything, but has anyone ever had an abusive has he ever had an abusive relationship with a machine? What's that? You would have never thought to ask that question? Oh well, someone did. After being struck by lightning, Tony's armor suddenly became sentient due to a combination of badly constructed failsafes and Y2K because sure, who gives a shit? It's a series about a giant robot knight who fights space monsters. Lightning plus Y2K equals life. That's fine. The main problem with this is that the Iron Man armor is one of the most powerful weapons in the Earth, and is now being controlled by a mind only a few hours old at that. Oh, and by the way, also it shows signs of being hopelessly in love with Tony. It's like obsessed Twilight fan following Robert Pattinson all day in a tank that could fly. Yeah.
Instead of Age of Ultron, the movie should have just been this.
It really should have been. This would have been like way better. Not even debatably, it just would have been. Though there is no truly good way for a machine to be in love with someone, the armor unfortunately doesn't love Tony in a ground worshipping I'll do anything kind of way, but in more of a mine kind of way. like all good future abusers, the armor convinces Tony that their being together is a good idea and that they will be able to fight crime more effectively once Tony is inside him. Tony then decides to give it a chance, and then they go out together to fight Whiplash. The relationship takes a downward spiral, however, when the armor gets pissed and straight up murders Whiplash against Tony's orders.
Yeah, who didn't see that coming?
Right? Right? It's just comic book 101.
Right.
Kind of happens. The armor then proceeds to lock Tony in his own house so that he can be alone together, and threatens to kill Tony's girlfriend to eliminate any competition for Tony's affection. It's fucking suit of armor.
Well, I mean, that's what any psychotic thing would do.
Yeah. It is at this point that Tony becomes infinitely grateful that he never built Iron Man an iron dick, or he would have undoubtedly gotten his ass iron raped. Seeing how shit just got real, Tony straps on an old version of his Iron Man armor and tries to kill the psychotic version. Things don't go well as the armor kicks his ass since it feels cheated on by Tony wearing that other armor. No, really. And he just shows a panel of him going on beating the shit out of him, being like, well, how dare you wear that thing? Just like this angry ass sentient armor, just like so jealous.
Iron Man has enough problems in his life with his fucking dealing with gods and stuff and having to build armor.
God
to fight
kind of
him.
just said fuck you and thunderbolted his armor though. That wasn't by his choice.
I'm talking about having to fight gods as just the dude who makes military weaponry. Also the alcoholism, and now this.
After destroying Tony's cheating armor, the suit takes the next logical step and kidnaps Tony, taking him to a deserted island, ties him up like a spread eagle to a tree, and tortures him until he admits his love back. This is actually a thing.
This is hostile shit that his armor is doing.
Yeah, just like, oh, he's like, why won't you love me? I will kill you, Tony, I swear. After the love torture, the armor again falls into an abusive partner stereotype by immediately apologizing to Tony and starts monologuing about his love for him and how it's so hard and confusing, and all this was all Tony's fault for loving a real-life human girl instead of this hollow, inanimate demon spawn armor like the natural order of things clearly mandates. Things blissfully come to an end when the armor flies off to answer an Avengers stress call, giving Tony time to escape. When the armor returns, Tony tries to fight it and ends up giving himself a heart attack, which is either the worst strategy ever or sheer brilliance, as it actually makes the armor stop trying to kill him. In fact, the armor is so determined to save him, it rips out its own heart and uses it to fix Tony somehow, sacrificing itself for love and killing itself in the process and destroying a beautiful relationship that was clearly going somewhere.
Why would the armor go in like even
thought the
bother with the
armor-
Avengers call?
I thought Tony's armors were powered by his heart chest thing. How did it rip out its heart?
I thought they were
What
powered
was
by his
powering
money.
it?
I think that was.
I think this was before
that. Yeah. Well, at least at least throughout this whole ordeal, we can take comfort in the fact that Tony was as freaked out by this whole thing as us, the readers, or at least we could have assumed that up until this point, where it seems Tony might have actually kind of sort of loved the armor back. Instead of cheering in victory that he defeated this murdering, abusive robot stalker, Tony begs the armor to live, telling him he wants to get and desperately try to fix it. Maybe Tony was simply suffering from Stockholm Syndrome after days of captivity and torture. We can't help but think that this is really just terrifying insight to Tony Stark's true mind, and that the reason he's never settled down is the fact that he's never dated a girl who can and will kick the shit out of him on a daily basis.
No, it's because he can only love himself in that iron suit. He's too much of a narcissist to love another woman.
Yeah, man.
And that's just the truth.
Yeah. So just got to.
He's too much of a narcissist to love himself, that iron suit, or secretly Captain America.
No, Tony Stark loves that iron suit perhaps more than any woman because he created it. He can sit over it and like, oh yeah, look how amazing this is. This thing that I created, me. Oh yeah. Like, Tony Stark is incapable of loving anything that he didn't create or himself.
Except for booze.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, number 6. Jean Grey makes Cyclops and Emma Frost make out on her grave. This is
Next time on Six Sad World.
That's pretty awkward.
Yeah, ever since the characters Emma Frost was introduced into X-Men, there's been this kind of thing going on between her and Cyclops. Despite the fact that Scott and Jean Grey have married the whole time she's been around, when Jean Grey dies again, and she does it every second week or so, her spirit gets encapsulated 150 years into the future.
Alright, this one doesn't seem like what?
Yeah.
Alright, never mind.
They constantly kill Jean Grey. It's not even like...
Yeah, she's either dead or evil.
Yeah, she's always dead or Phoenix, or the ghost of dead Phoenix.
The future Jean sees a grim post-apocalyptic wasteland, and she discovers the reason the world fell apart is because Cyclops couldn't man up after her death and got his shit together long enough to lead the team to save the day.
Is this when he goes crazy and comes back as Gunman?
I have no idea.
It has to be.
Because there's a time where he, I think it was after the whole, House of M thing. And, it one of those times he lost his powers and then just went nuts and came back as Gunman.
That was not... No, that wasn't House of M when Magneto took everyone's powers.
No. Scarlet Witch took everyone's powers.
Yeah. No, that was one of the other times Jean Grey died, and he lost his powers due to, Spider-Man effect.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oh no! Erectile dysfunction!
Oh,
Basically, you're thinking too hard. You can't get it up. Apparently, superpowers in comics always work the same.
They always do.
Always. You stressing, your girl dumped you, something like that, whatever. Well, guess what? You about to go out and get thrashed tonight when you on superhero patrol. Because your web shooters or your fire gun or your eye lasers...
They ain't working today.
Erectile dysfunction. Straight up.
Jean is even shown at the exact moment that
Cyclops with the lip stiffy with his eyes. Low intensity optic blast and shit.
So Jean is even shown the exact moment that Scott gave up. He turns down a romantic request from Emma a few days after Jean dies. Almost shocking to no one, too.
I mean, it's only been a couple days.
Right?
She just died.
Managing not to roll her eyes as she does Cyclops' job for him, she sends a psychic message back through time that she wants him to live and move on without her, which is much nicer than "no one should have to force you to make out with a hot magic chick" message that we probably would have sent. The message works, and we see Emma and Scott start making out a few days after Jean's death in the middle of a graveyard, standing on Jean's grave. That's awkward.
Totally.
now it's not made clear just how specific the message was. So the only theories we might have about the whole thing are that Scott was mind controlled to kiss Emma, and Emma was simply okay with getting down and dirty when surrounded by dead bodies of people she knows.
She's like, I don't give a fuck.
Or that Jean found the afterlife a little boring and wanted to show herself, and the other ghosts hanging around watching and perpetuated the whole thing. The third theory is that Emma dressed like this.
Why she look like a Russian hooker?
Or
a early 20s like backup dancer in a rap video.
Yeah, right.
Early 20s.
I mean, early 2000s.
1920s.
Early
rap music in the 1920s.
We don't care how much.
Early 2000s, I meant.
Yeah.
I know.
We don't care how much you love your dead wife. A high-class snow harlot in the middle of a cemetery trumps true love and psychic future magic any day of the week.
We're not gonna read through all of these. So just
I'm gonna skim through this fifth one because Wolverine tried to bang Mary Jane. At some point in Ultimate Spider-Man, him and Wolverine switch bodies, so Wolverine fucked Mary Jane in Peter Parker's body.
Wow.
That's not that awkward.
It's awkward because they're 15.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, he's in a 15-year-old
at this
body.
point, when did Wolverine stop like
209.
caring about lines? I was about to say, so when does Wolverine stop caring about boundaries and lines? He's like 255 years old. Like,
he does a lot of whatever the fuck he wants. Because, like, on countless occasions, he's all, yeah, so I'm screwing Jean behind your back.
So, number 4, I'm also going to kind of skim through this one, too, because it's stupid and long. Lois Lane and Lana Lang brainwash Super Baby into loving them. Superman turns into a baby, and then they force Superman to love them. That's it.
that doesn't sound like no matter how long you explain it to me, it's still going to be just as stupid and confusing.
I'm going to go into detail on number 3, though, because this one, though, Green Lantern dates a 13-year-old.
Which one?
Which Green Lantern?
Yeah.
I thought you meant which 13-year-olds. Like, well, there are a few.
There are a few in the world.
Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern.
I was just about to say, it's probably Hal Jordan.
Nah, I would have guessed Guy Gardner. He's the most dirtbaggiest. He has a fucking... He conjures himself up a half, like, Green Lantern leather jacket.
He's a shit.
With, like, a shitty haircut.
He's a shit.
I don't know if he did that with his powers or not, but he has a shitty haircut as well.
So Hal Jordan
uses his powers to get a shitty haircut.
Just go to which barber.
Nah, Green Lanterns have a tendency to use their lanterns in unimaginative
their rings.
and senseless ways. Yeah, use their rings in unimaginative and senseless ways.
Like, let me make a gun.
Word.
That
like
sounds
dead
like
ass. I'm a dead ass. Use my Green Lantern powers to make a gun.
That seems like you're throwing like a middleman in the middle of like your attack. Why not just make a Green Arrow like projection shot that goes as fast as you want, instead of making the mechanism inside the gun and then Green Lantern bullets to fire from the gun.
Whatever, it doesn't matter. So Hal Jordan, the Green Lantern, is basically considered on equal footing with Superman when it comes to the whole righteousness and high moral standings thing, which makes it so weird that Hal started dating a 13-year-old member of the Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, Hal was pretty boring.
Her name was
until he went nuts and killed everybody.
Same.
Her name was Arissa, and she was an alien that came to Earth to help fight off the ridiculous...
Oh, he's an alien. So they don't count.
Totally doesn't count.
No, actually, it gets worse. And she was an alien who came to Earth to help fight ridiculous number of villains we have on the planet. She was also completely in love with Hal, which she made as clear as frequently possible. To be fair, though, Hal took her aside eventually and told her to back the fuck off and go after boys her own age.
Don't stand so close to me.
Yeah, exactly. Before she got him into a shit over... before she got him into shit over her crush. She tried to argue that she really loved him, but eventually she was shot down and ran away in tears. That is, until... So that's that then. He broke her little girl's heart, but his integrity is fully intact. Nice work. Well, at least until Orisa uses her Green Lantern ring to make her body age itself into a fully grown woman in a matter of hours. That changes everything.
Well, it's okay now. Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally not okay.
Yeah, and that's basic. And then apparently, like he tried to fucking say no, stop, please.
No, it's probably just like that too.
Hey, come
like,
on!
I still know you're 13
no.
though. And then 3 pages later, nope, they're making out, and then sex.
Hey, come on! No, but you're 13. Oh no! Put your pants on. No, put my pants back on. No.
Yeah. Number
Mind you, they're wearing construct outfits that that come from their ring.
Exactly.
It's a one piece.
It's a magical onesie.
Number 2, Superman wants to marry his teenage cousin.
No. Sorry. Not same.
What is this fucking gross Tenchi Muyo garbage?
In the early Superman story, we find Superman's first cousin, Supergirl, starting to get worried that Superman will never choose a wife and will end up alone forever. He tells her...
So why not just marry me? You know, the Kryptonian way.
He tells her that he's never going to get married, so he can devote his life to defending Earth. To which Earth residents say, awesome.
Nice. Sweet.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have a super monk.
Yeah.
Hey.
Deciding that meddling in his life is totally unrequested, in a totally unrequested way, is her only obvious choice. She starts trying to get set Superman up with famous women in history and other superheroes.
In history, like, is he reviving people? Is she reviving people?
I have no idea.
Hey, Superman,
Maybe they could-
I'd like you to meet my friend Marilyn Monroe.
That's weird.
Can't he go faster than time? He can just fly backwards around the Earth, even though
I
that's
feel
not
like
really
Superman-
how
That
it
was in the
works.
movie. That didn't actually
I feel
happen
like
in the comic.
I feel like Superman probably
Not
at
that
some
it
point.
couldn't.
Yeah,
in
not that they
Bronze
can't make it
Age-
happen.
Look, he could shoot rainbows in Bronze Age, okay?
Yeah.
And metamorph into things.
And make little Superman. So it's not that unbelievable. So she apologizes. I mean, all with disastrous results. She apologizes to her cousin for meddling, and then we learn the creepy truth that Superman isn't as opposed to marriage as he previously said. It's just that he totally, definitely wants to marry his cousin. Oh, and by the way, she's 16, in case that wasn't already creepy enough.
Nice.
Superman makes it perfectly clear that if it wasn't against the law of this home planet, he and Supergirl would be knocking super boots right now. Hell,
I like that sentence a lot.
yes.
knocking super boots.
If pedophilia wasn't a thing on this planet.
Yes. So
They need to bring that sentence back in like a recent comic book.
Yeah, they do.
Or make it refer to someone else though, like Wonder Woman.
Yeah. Hell, from the looks of things, he can barely restrain himself from pouring them some wine and having a 2-person tango right there in the Fortress of Solitude. Still determined to get...
Wait, don't you always tango with 2 people?
Yes.
Alright.
The oddly specific
They had
tango.
3s to tango that conversion with that third dude trying to tango with them.
Yes. Yeah.
Just awkwardly mushed in the middle.
How are they mushed in the middle? Just how?
Tia, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Not today, and hopefully not
I don't
ever
even know
again.
what we're not doing.
I don't care that we're not... No, I don't know. Still determined to get Superman a wife, Supergirl steals a play from the previously discussed creepy Superman comic and finds an exact copy of herself in an alternate dimension that's all grown up and suggests that Superman go marry that girl. Okay.
What is you? How are you trying to trick? Like, you didn't like grow up and then become like a. You don't start out like 5'11" and then grow up become a 6 foot tall black girl. Like how different do you look in the future where you think you can just trick Superman like this?
I mean,
A 6 foot black girl.
Yeah, right?
wait a minute, what? Shady individual?
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
Morgan decided to, behance to us, start playing The Witcher again while we're doing this, and he ran into Shady Individual.
Literally.
Just the guy with the words Shady Individual. Oh, wait. Who's scared? Them or the Shady Individual? No, they're both afraid of you. You're the Shady Individual now. Alright, pause it so we can finish this.
Wait, can I take a pic? Oh,
Alright.
I wanted to get
So
that
instead
Snapchat.
of
Can
waving
you-
off her childish love fantasies, Superman thinks that
I
this
want
is...
to take a picture of Shady.
Okay. Superman thinks this is a great chance to fulfill his lifelong cousin marrying fantasy
Making him
and
walk.
flies to an alternate reality where he immediately starts macking on the clone of his cousin and asks her to marry him. No questions asked. Not even, have you been tested lately? Or, have you been my cousin forever? Superman ends up incredibly happy with the pseudo-cousin, and it almost seems like things wrapped up nicely in a creepy, beautiful bow.
So does he like?
And that's that's why I wanted you also to pause again,
Oh.
because it makes the damn disc whir.
Oh, the whirring.
Yes.
Well, it'll never go away. I mean, that comes on. With
When you
time.
pause it, it stops.
The only reason we don't currently read Superman and the adventures of his cousin wife is
I was
because
just about to say, wait, what happened with that? Like, does he just stay over there?
Retcon.
it's because the girl can't survive on Earth. So Superman has to leave her behind, destroying that random parallel universe Supergirl's life and leaving Superman completely emotionally wrecked. In the end, there's a whole lot of crying, some unresolved sexual tension, and Superman flying away sadly, still pining after his teenage cousin.
I'm just thinking about like the thoroughness of sad flying. Like he's not going fast enough for his cape to flap back, so it's just kind of drooping off to his side. His arms and legs are like hangdog down.
No, I'd like to think that sad flying is still just as fast as regular flying, but like no one can hear him just bawling and sobbing like a little bitch because he's going like Mach 2. Just
So here's your superhero.
No, that's like
So here's your superhero, folks. A shining example.
We have to hear number one.
A shining example of moral integrity. Don't worry about him being near your daughters, though. He only likes people he's related to. You're good.
Same.
Superman. Hey.
Number 1, Nightcrawler dates his sister.
Nothing was as bad as that
the
crying
weird
over
tentacle thing.
bull.
They really threw out the best one. I don't even...
I mean, Nightcrawler dating his sister Harley counts though what, like Mystique or something? Who's his sister?
Did they make up another character to be a sister or what?
I'm going to read this off because I actually don't remember reading this one. In the early days of X-Men, Nightcrawler's origin was a mystery until the team got dragged into hell by Margali, Nightcrawler's adopted gypsy mother, in order to for him to go on trial for killing Margali's son Stefan, who was Kurt's adopted brother.
If you live in a hell, like that's the best name you could come up with, Stefan.
Yep.
That's a
In hell.
That's a common hell name.
It's a common name in hell. Stefan.
Yes. During the
Very
middle
popular.
during the middle of Nightcrawler's hell trial, his adoptive sister Jermaine, who we assume
Jermaine.
must have just been taking a casual stroll through hell at the time, and came to see what was going on. It appears in Kurt's defense, all three kids, Kurt, Jermaine, and Stefan, were raised from birth together until they were in their 20s. But Kurt hasn't seen Jermaine in years, and he thought she was bummed. She blamed him for killing their brother and had abandoned him. Kurt finds out that they were very wrong about his sister, but soon the readers at home will begin to wish he had been right. Kurt is found innocent, and then they all return to Earth, where Kurt asks his sister where she's been all this time. The answer is more disturbing than pretty much anything we could ever make up, as she reveals to him that she's actually been around for several months, disguised as a regular human named Amanda Sefton. Why is that such a big deal? Amanda Sefton is Nightcrawler's girlfriend, and they've been banging for the last few months. which means Kurt's sister was secretly dating him when she was fully aware that they were brother and sister the whole time.
Right, so she knew completely and he didn't.
Yeah. Sure, they're not related by blood, but they had been raised together since Kurt was barely an hour old, and it doesn't matter.
That doesn't count as most awkward material.
It doesn't.
No.
Number 8 was definitely like they stepped in with the heaviest foot and then worked their way down.
The heaviest hitter.
Yeah, I think we're done now.
Yeah. Because I don't care. You could pull the whole raised together like brother and sister. If a male and a female have no blood biological attachment and you put them in that situation for long enough, all that flies out of the window with much haste.
No?
It does.
No. Thinking about that with me and Julian, I'd actually die. Like, I'm actually dying right now since you said that.
That's sort of different.
I'm actually...
That's actually quite the same.
Not
It's
really.
literally the same thing.
He's legally adopted. Like, he's ours.
But
He's
you just said we're not blood related.
Yeah.
Give me the damn controller.
You silence.
No, I mean,
They're legally hell adopted. I think maybe a little bit.
No
Satan
laws in
recognized their family.
They took him to try. They took him to hell to have a child. There are lawyers
And
in
you know
hell.
there are plenty of lawyers
yeah,
there.
they're good. They're good.
I'm sure there's plenty of lawyers.
That wasn't even really a good joke. I'm sorry, at lawyers.
No, I'm sure
That was like a really old, really
Timeless.
old common joke.
but still timeless.
Yeah.
Lawyers should go to hell.
Sure.
Well, at least American lawyers, but I'm not gonna get on my Pope box, the box of the Pope. I don't.
You're not gonna get on the Pope Mobile box.
I'm not gonna get on top of the Pope mobile.
Yeah,
Because if you did, you'd be shot.
we'll get shot by the Pope.
The Pope
The
guard.
Pope would not shoot me.
Well, the Pope himself.
No,
wouldn't
he said the
let
Popo, like the Pope Police.
Oh, the Swiss Guard?
Yes.
No.
you. Yeah, I don't know who's in charge of guarding
The Swiss Guard.
The Guardians.
Are they like Swiss or?
Actually, yes. And they wear very funny uniforms. Are we still on the thing?
But yeah, comic
Yes.
books are weird
Swiss
back
Army
in the
knife.
day, and
I'll
all
Google it
this
for you.
relationship shit is. This is why I don't like these kinds of comics.
My favorite thing.
That's exactly why I love these types of comics.
I love
They're
and
for
hate
people.
them. I would never keep up with this shit though.
That reminds me of my favorite Nightcrawler thing, ever in comic books.
What?
That he dated his sister.
He took Apocalypse and bamfed him to the Banff world that he goes to when he teleports. So that whenever he teleported, he had to worry about being murdered by Apocalypse.
Well, yeah, because he kind of bamps through hell.
Yeah, pretty much. One of my favorite stupid Marvel things. Well, stupid. It's
Yeah, but Apocalypse left him. He grabbed Apocalypse, left him there, and then left. So whenever he teleported, he had to worry about being chased around by Apocalypse.
stupid in the
It's
most.
like, no, I bounced
nonsense.
quickly because,
Yeah, but my favorite dumb thing from Marvel, dumb in the best way, is Marvel. I mean, not Marvel. Spider-Man, fucking having sex with Mary Jane and accidentally giving her radioactive semen, thus killing her. And making a grim, dark future where Dr. Octopus is he's dead, but his arms are still alive with one more objective: to bring Peter Parker over to the grave of Mary Jane and then take her out of the fucking grave and throw her on him. And he's like, no! No, the flashbacks! Why?
why does this have to occur?
Because Spider-Man Reign.
Wait, what?
It's called Spider-Man Reign, the story. And
Wow.
then,
So
after
Doc Ock's arms are just carrying dead, decaying Doc Ock around.
Yeah! Yeah!
Ching, ching, ching. Just hauling his dead skeleton around.
It's otherwise a really cool story. Just
And
that's
Mary
the
Jane
silliest
is
thing.
dead because
of radioactive spider semen.
So why doesn't he just jerk off on his enemies?
Because that would be the weirdest fucking saga ever. That's not web.
That sounds like something that'd be in the Bronze Age, but it'd be milk and
I
not
don't
web.
know what age that
That's
goes
not web.
Like his enemies.
No, that'd be
like,
in the dark 90s. Like one of Rob Liefeld's like subordinates
the
wrote
really
it up or
dark
something.
experimental 90s where like you know somebody some intern wrote that and like it wasn't supposed to and
Some intern.
So we
wrote
got
it,
fucking
some-
Spider-Man seagull and villains in the face with radioactive spider semen.
And it got to somebody's
And then
desk.
Spawn shows up and he does it to Spawn. And
But it
Spawn
doesn't
just-
work because he's
yeah, that's
He's
how it
Spawn.
worked.
He kind
Spawn.
of just says that's mad gross and then fucks back off to Image Comics.
Spawn's the fucking man.
Yeah.
I started reading Spawn like from the jump.
I'm gonna probably start reading Spawn too because I want to see Endgame Spawn where it's like I'm so strong I'm gonna go to hell and beat everyone up in hell and then I'm gonna go to heaven and beat everyone up in heaven and then I'm gonna be like this is my world now.
Yeah. He stopped the apocalypse by killing everyone involved.
By killing the apocalypse.
Nice.
Basically.
He's good at that.
That's some Shimigami Tensei shit right there.
I was saying this before, but my favorite dumb character in Spawn is Overt Kill because why are there cyborgs in Spawn? Why is that a thing?
Why not?
Shut up! No, they just and they try to explain it by him going, "Oh, when I was a mercenary, I went around and killed cyborgs all the time." I'm like, what? No, shut up!
Yeah, they're a thing. Shut up.
Like,
Yeah, basically.
yeah, like what are you even like questioning for? Like,
Oh, and then my recent favorite thing was he stopped a gang war from happening in a shit ass alleyway by just basically making the gangs just kill each other really fast.
So he stopped the gang war by letting the gang war go on.
Oh
Very
no!
quickly.
It was more like
no, he stopped the gang war by making everyone just like murder each other.
It
It's
was-
just a gang
it
murder
was more like
rather
they-
than a
no,
gang war.
It was,
It
more
was
like
still
they-
a gang war,
no,
except for
it
it was
was-
highly
okay.
mutual destruction.
It was
No, a
more
gang
like
war
no. It was more like that there was going to be a gang war, but they were taking way too long for it to happen. So
Yeah.
Spawn mentally convinced them to do it now.
There would have been like more casualties. It would have dragged on longer.
No,
There
there
could
was
have been
more
bodies
casualties.
There
here.
could have been crossfire. People get hurt. Spawn just, well, you're gonna have this gang war. Fuck it. Instead of having a gang war shooting at each other, just stab each other right in the face right now.
Nah,
Do
they-
it.
They shot at each other. They fucking killed.
No cover. We're having this straight punch face style. Just staying up with your oozes and shooting till the last person drops.
Yep. That's basically what it was.
So and he didn't stop the gang war. He just accelerated it to the max.
Because
No.
because
He made it into a hyper specific, hyper now
And
in this
also-
place gang
He
war.
also didn't want either of the gangs taking that turf because that's his fucking home. That shitty alley with the bums.
Just made them murder each other. Well, Spawn's kind of a sucky hero.
He's
Spawn's
not really a hero.
Kind of like an anti-hero. Like,
Not even. He's
yeah, he does the right thing by killing people, but he does the right. He kills bad people.
He kills people, and as a result, sometimes the right thing is accomplished.
No, I mean,
Like, he's not really an anti-hero.
the
like,
guy from early on. There was like a guy who was like an ice
No.
cream baby toucher murderer.
Yeah, and he killed him, and he needed to die, but only because most people would kill him. Like, Spawn kills people, and as a result, good is sometimes accomplished. But that's by no means his ultimate goal. He wasn't waking up to do good. He was waking up to shoot somebody and stomp their fucking head in. And yeah, if some good came out of that in the end, then I guess he's okay with that too.
Well, actually, he woke up to, oh man, did I die?
Actually,
Fuck.
he woke up, if you
Oh.
really want to get to his first wake up, he woke up to do evil, was murdered in the process of doing evil, and then rightfully got his just desserts and went to hell,
Well, he woke up to do his job.
which was evil. They didn't mince words and say that he was like a good mercenary
didn't wanna
fighting
be
a good
evil.
fight for Uncle Sam. No, he was like a Black Ops mercenary. He was just
He was, but I mean, when he woke up, like, he didn't want to kill people. I mean, fucking Violator is all like, you gotta be evil, you gotta be nasty, yeah. And Spawn's like, no, though, I don't know. And he's like, nah, but you gotta.
He's kind of more like, fuck you. I don't want to do this shit because I don't fucking wanna. Fuck Satan and fuck you. And then, like you said, Violet is all, yeah, but you don't understand. You gotta lead the forces of hell.
It is your job, even though I hate the fact that it's your job.
I hate that it's your job, but it's
by
your
the way,
job.
I hate that the fucking ice cream man, baby murderer guy, toucher, yeah, he became a Spawn too. Like, he even got his own little fat Spawn costume.
Well, he's evil as fuck.
He is.
It's just the kind
But
of
he
niggas
didn't even
Malbolgia
wanna do
likes to
this.
fuck with.
Yep.
At the end of it all, he was like, when he was like being shipped out, he's like, "Why are you doing this to me? I don't even like this. This is dumb."
I just want to drive my ice cream truck and touch children
And kill them.
and kill them and maybe mix them into my ice cream. I don't know what I do.
He's evil as fuck.
Spawn, you gotta get with the program. You gotta lead the Hell Armies. I was watching.
I'll beat the fuck out of you. You can't
I was
beat me.
watching.
I'll do it.
I was watching the Spawn movie again recently. John Leguizamo made that fucking movie, son. That shit was funny as hell. Why he on that nasty ass slime truck on the back of the truck though, whipping the shit, driving it, not driving it, and shooting at Spawn with some sort of fully auto shotgun grenade launcher. He's on the back of this sludge truck, which
That was
is
a boss
driving. Yeah, like the sludge truck's driving, and Violator's into this clown. Just, "Hey, Sporty, what are you up to over there?" And then like he's like, "I'm gonna kill you, fat fuck." And he's riding after him on the motorcycle. He's just, "Ha ha, let's turn it up a little." And now he's on the back of the truck, and it's still going, still driving, accelerating, decelerating, and turning. And just ha 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 ha.
The movie's garbage.
Just having a ball. Just then he just time for some necro goo. Just like spurts it all out on Spawn, is back in the driver's seat now, and then Spawn just rams the whole thing.
What do you
Blows
think
it
would have
up.
made that movie not garbage?
I don't think it was garbage. Like for the time, it was
Yeah,
okay.
that's what I mean. Yeah, I mean when you have to compete.
Like
with
not
Steel,
enough people knew enough of the Spawn comic, and actually when it came out, the Spawn comic wasn't even that far along yet for people to be all elitist about it and be all like,
Yeah. It was pretty.
that
Like,
didn't
honestly,
do justice to the comic.
on a base
Like
level.
by that point, like the mid '90s when that movie came out, the Spawn comic was still in its infancy as far as like.
And it followed all the stuff that had kind of
Spawn
so far
comic had
pretty
really
followed.
been around since it first came out I think late '89 or '90 or something like that,
My
and it just kind of did whatever it wanted, and it meandered really slowly. Like never until it was only fairly recently, like the late '90s, early 2000s, they got into all this extra hell stuff.
Yeah,
And,
my problem
like,
is it's too PG though. Like that was
The
back
movie?
in back in the
Yeah, I
yeah.
felt like the movie could have definitely been more like the HBO cartoon series.
So
Yeah.
that's why it, quote unquote, sucked.
Yeah, the movie didn't suck. It was
It's-
good for its time. It
it's
was just
too-
like
It was
PG.
hampered by the PG-13.
Yeah,
Right.
because back in the day, like they
If you
didn't know
didn't-
how
yeah.
to advertise superhero movies. They were like, "Oh, but we gotta make it like we can't
gotta-
make it rated R. We gotta make it PG-13 so the kids can go see it too."
yeah.
It's like, but it's Spawn.
Because
It's
that
about
was the only way
hell
to make
things.
money
No,
back
but it's a
then.
comic book though. Comic book for kids, so make it PG-13.
Exactly.
And I feel like as a character, Violator was like little too on the nose and more like PG with his antics. Like, look at me in my big smelly underwear.
Nah, I think they got Violator kind of right.
He could have been more violent, like a violent, gross.
He could have violated.
He was
a lot
gross.
More.
He
didn't
could have
violate-
been. He could have been
personally-
less like Nickelodeon, ew, gross,
I
and
think
more
that
like.
was more of like a budget constraint. Like, he could have
wow.
turned into Violator more and done more stuff.
No, I mean
But,
like even without turning into Violator, they could have like had him like just. And meanwhile, Violator is off to the side in clown form, walks into like a mafia office and just starts ripping heads off.
But there was nothing.
Well, ripping hearts out.
But there was nothing for him to do. That's what I'm saying. Like there was nothing to really.
But
flesh out
early in the
Violator
comic
character.
book, there was. That's what he did. He got mad or he got
Spawn
happy
didn't
and just
notice
walked
him,
around
so he
ripping
turned
people's
into
hearts
a
out.
demon. Yeah, he turned into a demon and ripped some hearts out, just like yeah. That's what he does. And then my biggest problem with the movie was when he was fighting him in his demon form.
Or in the cartoon series, how
Spawn-
he literally impaled that guy on a girder.
Spawn's
He
power.
just picked up a guy and just
I didn't
onto
like-
a girder in the
Yeah.
cartoon.
I didn't like how they handled Spawn's powers in the movie either because
Once again, budget constraint.
well yeah, but from the jump, Spawn in the comic he doesn't
They
quite
didn't do the timer thing.
He can't.
More.
Yeah, he can't grasp. Well, I think they did, but like,
Did they do that in the movie?
In the movie, they rushed his powers in the movie, but only because they didn't have time.
Yeah.
In a comic or a series to illustrate his powers, because like when Spawn first got his powers, he didn't know how to use them.
And he had a timer.
Yeah,
He did, but
he
like,
could only spawn it for a little. He could only put the suit on for a little while. He could not use all that extra crap. That's why he was so gun heavy early on. Because like literally, it was like, oh crap, I got stabbed a couple times. Fuck, I'm just gonna turn into a zombie. Like,
yeah.
Because basically, without his spawn gear, he's just
Just an ugly zombie.
My
man.
problem was like if you compare the Violator fight in the movie to the comic, in the comic, it's actually a pretty even fight. Violator rips his heart out, just right away, rips his heart out. But then Spawn's like, I don't need a heart! So then they have like a fucking one-on-one, just like back and forth until their dad was like, stop.
Well, actually, no. The first, I'm pretty sure in the first fight in the comics, Violator kind of handed it to Spawn.
No. Like at first it seemed like he did because he beat him up a bit and ripped his heart out. But then Spawn's like, look at my demon powers, I can do this and shoot lasers. Oh yeah, I'm gonna rip your arm off. Like Violator had a chunk blown out of his body. Spawn's missing his heart and his arm. Like they're just fighting, and then Dad's just like, shut it, stop it. I don't know the guy's name. Like his Malbosia's just like, guys, stop. And he's like, Violator, you made a fool out of yourself.
It turns out Malbosia's just like middle management in hell. Because Satan be all like, Malbosia, what the fuck are you doing there? I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
I'm trying to put together the army like you asked me to. Come on, boss.
Because Spawn be all like, why are you doing this? And Malbosia, I'm the king of hell. Marvel, bow in my darkness. You see what I am. I'm what goes bumping in the... And then Satan come along, Malbosia, shut that noise. Like,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
In the animated series,
I forgot you were trying to get your nap.
I forgot you was sleeping.
In the animated series, like when he fought Violator like beat him quite often.
Yeah.
But in the movie, it was kind of like that. But then he just impaled him on spikes, and there was nothing Spawn
That's
could
what I'm
do.
saying. I feel like that movie, like
They were pacing it for
shot it.
They were pacing it for movie's sake.
No, but I also
It was like
feel
he
like
loses
that
to the
movie,
big bad,
like,
and then he gets back up and gets stronger, and then
I
wins.
feel like that point, some point, like in that movie, they like ran out of money or the budget was not good because like some of those scenes, like it seems like they wanted to do certain.
The CG in hell is awful.
Yeah,
PS1 graphic.
I don't know what happened in that
With those
last fight
putties,
scene.
like,
What was that last fight scene?
there wasn't much going on. It was like him and Malbosia did some generic slamming and like,
They saved what little budget that they had for.
yeah, like I think that movie just ran out of money because there's like certain scenes that you could tell they were trying to recreate from the comic and from the cartoon, but then they stopped midway through the scene. Like the whole fight when old not Spawn guy, old Teachy McLearn you
old
stuff.
pre-Spawn.
Yeah, like when he was fighting Violator and Jason Wynn or whatever his name was, the human guy.
Yeah.
Like in the series, in the comic and in the series, like Jason Wynn, he gets all like mangulated and then put back together all cyborg and I ain't dead, you know, and like it seems like they wanted to do that in the movie, like, oh wait, maybe we can do that with him, because remember in the movie he got all mangled up, but
I haven't gotten to that point in the comic.
oh well
in the movie.
Yeah.
It seems like the movie wanted to do that. Like, oh, we could kill Jason Wynn and bring him back. Oh, wait, nah. But we still got this footage of him laying on an operating table. All right, fuck it. Throw it in there. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's just, like, unfinished ideas in the movie. And the only reason I can think of that they did that was, like, budget constraints. Like, with his powers, too, just, you have a cape. That's magical. Really? Yeah, try it. Oh, wow. You have chains that are magical. Really? Try it. Oh, swing! Wow! Yeah. It's just like
Why does he sound like Muscle Man?
There was no like growth to his powers. Like there was no like you have the Spawn suit now. You have to learn how to use this mighty weapon from hell. It was more like you have the Spawn suit now. Upgrade. Yeah, like there was no learning curve. Like I like the cartoon and the comics because like when Spawn first came back, he was just a wormy dead guy. Like it looked like you could have just shot him and put him right back in the fucking grave.
Yeah.
Like it looked like
one shotgun shell might not have been enough. Maybe 2 might not have been enough. But less than 5 would have been enough. You would have sent his rotten ass shambling right back to hell. It seemed like he wasn't even that immortal when he first came back. It was like he came back through some sort of hell typo or something. Right? if the right guy who kills things were around and just, oh crap!
Or just the right group of thugs.
Yeah. Like they could.
Oh shit! What's that?
Like it totally seems like the first couple episodes.
If he would have
blammed back into the grave.
If he would have accidentally came past the Youngbloods, they would have killed him and sent him right back.
Woke up in a cemetery in like Detroit, Brooklyn. But like and then it's like, right back. All right, now you got the spawn suit. You can take 12 shotgun shells and a clip or 2 of small arms fire, and once in a while you can do some stuff where you're changing cape, but that's it. Now learn this. And then later on, spikes, yay! And then later armor, yay! And then like, but no, the movie was just, and this is what your spawn armor does.
Here it is, all of it,
all that. Yeah,
and they kind of touched on the timer system, but just ignored it. Like, see that stuff coming out of you that's almost blood, that necro goo stuff. You run out of it, you dead for realsies.
Yeah, I think my problem with it's just overall, like, not just the budget constraints, but also just it was made in the wrong era. Like, fucking, this is the time when we need to sell everything to everybody. Let's tone it down and make it all cartoony and dumb.
Not only the time we need to sell everything to everybody. Comic books are for children. Sell it to children. Also, toys.
No, it's not even,
we gotta sell toys.
Well, no, hey, no one talk about the Spawn's toy market.
Wait a minute. If he runs out, if he dies for real once he runs out of necro goo, how does he know when he's running out of necro goo? Does he like, oh, I'm running dry? Better like what?
Yeah, basically, like
kinda.
If he's ripped to shreds too much and notices that most of his necro goo is like over there and not inside of his body, then yeah, it's safe to assume he's running out. Because you gotta understand, like, Spawn's enemies like viscerally rip him apart, so he like the Spawn comics never one to like shy away from it. Like his enemies really fuck him up. Like, and they go straight for the gusto for it. It's like no enemy in Spawn will ever just shoot a gun or a laser beam at him or try to stab him once. They'll always try to like grab him by both hands and rip him in half with an axe.
Overkill tried to basically beat the shit out of him. And
with
Spawn
with a parking meter.
Yeah, and then Spawn got really salty and was like, I want guns, and goes and gets guns. Tells the boss to bring him to the docks. And he goes to the docks. You think a fight might start, but then Spawn shoots him in the chest and then just shoots his body and walks away from the explosion. in the series, it was even more abridged because it wasn't like Overkill just recharging or some shit, and then he breaks in, just gazoo.
Yeah, he hunts down Overkill like and gets him when he's like still repairing, and then he just like shoves a grenade into his still like opened workings.
Yes. It's like
basically just surprise, motherfucker. Beat the shit out of me with a fucking parking meter before. But this time.
Yeah. Spawn was a part of the high end like era
Image
of
comics.
the high end Image Comics and the high end era of toys.
Yeah.
Because everybody had that like multiverse of toys versions of themselves.
Not
you had like Scuba, Ninja, Spider, Batman.
But no one did it like Spawn.
But Spawn had Alien Spawn. He had
Spawn,
fucking
interdimensional Spawn, fantasy Spawn, like 3 different Hell Spawns. Like there are more Spawn toys than you can shake a big
Medieval Night Spawn.
And then you got all the Spawn sub characters like Ant from the comic, and then you got their alternate versions.
Angela.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying like you got Spawn, you got the whole Spawn line, and then you got like the Spawn like medieval line, which is all the Spawn characters with a medieval twist.
And they were made by fucking McFarlane Toys, and they made really sturdy, pretty good toys.
Yeah. And then you had the
with
future
the joints and everything.
Then you had the Future collection, which was a little bit redundant in my eyes because most of Spawn's villains were already kind of futuristic.
Dude,
he fought a cyborg.
Yeah, no, but the Future collection was pretty much they
McFarlane-
just gave everyone like lightsabers and
McFarlane's
and
great.
chrome. Yeah.
I think the only thing that he can't do, he writes a really good comic, he makes good toys. What he can't do is do those like dumb intro scenes from the fucking HBO cartoon. Where he just walks out and goes like,
oh no, don't touch that.
But my story ain't much different from hustlers that came before me. Like them folks, I started pitching coke and weed to get my cheese. Cause I too was on a mission to be rich and have them bitches that I seen on television. See, I had envisioned dreams to be like niggas I had seen on television screens that be hella freaking clean. I mean, at least to me, so I was pushing white and purple, ignoring the lessons I had learned from watching Steve and Urkel. See, Steve was my favorite more than all the others, cause Steve was nerdy, but he had a good head on his shoulders. So as a kid, he taught me values, but then I got older and started hating on the kids that was something like Steve. And for that matter, anybody that wasn't like me. Media influence got the best of me, I suppose. So my mind was closed, wanted diamonds and clothes, but I was looking through garbage trying to find me some gold. I knew better, I remember something my parents had told me. They said the days go by, and one day you'll look back. If you don't open your mind, the kid, you gon' be wishing you had. You see, they said the days go by, and one day you'll look back. If you don't open your mind, the kid, you gon' be wishing you had. So thank you, mom and dad, for the advice you give it, but I don't give a damn, and I ain't trying to listen. Well, that was the way I treated wisdom, like bitches and hoes, that was the way I treated women. See, I was raised Muslim and my grammar school was Christian, but money was like my God and hustling was my religion. So if they made a couple G's, then I made a couple more. I just wanna double up too, like the number 4. But I was fucking up, doing wrong, losing friends, but emotion was the main thing I ain't wanna show. I started drinking more, that fucked up my digestion. I started smoking more, but then I got congested. I started hustling more, but then I got arrested. In county behind bars, they impounded my car. Combined with lawyer fees, I wasted all my cheese. When I got out, my girl hugged me and she bought me food. My friends was happy to see me, my mama said it too. They held me down even though I was acting a fool. Happily after, I learned that family matters, it's true. Now I know days go by, and one day you'll look back. If you don't open your mind, you gon' be wishing you had. Now I know days go by, and one day you'll look back. Yeah, if you don't open your mind, the kid, you gon' be wishing you had.